trucks come on and they would sell T-shirts to everybody at basic training and everything, and they were the most obnoxious shirts, like "Death from Above," and all this stuff. You're like, well, I'd buy that shirt, but I just probably can't wear it anywhere in public. But aside from that, it's great. But I wouldn't wear a Tank Buddy shirt, no.
We're Tank Buddies.
Tank Buddy. Hey, buddy.
I used to call the football coach of the school I taught at. He was a big, tough guy. Hey, buddy. I'd call him. That's a new teacher. Oh, he hated it. He hated it.
Yeah.
What is he going to do? Beat me up? We're teachers.
Probably.
No, he didn't. He couldn't do it.
He didn't?
And then one time...
Well, he's a coach. He's not really a teacher, right? He's kind of a teacher.
Well, and he's... I was the mascot for a short time because no kids would do it. So I was like, I'll do it. So I dressed up as a mascot, but I made sure during the football game, I ran up and I was like annoying the football coach, which is not what you're supposed to do.
How big of a school was this?
It was a big suburban school.
So football's important.
We were the worst team in the conference. We were the
Probably
worst
because
team
of the mascot.
For real.
The Hawks, that's not a terrible one. Cooper Hawks.
Oh my gosh, that's so
pretty good.
racist.
Hawk? Yeah.
You got to change that name. It's got to be something like Guardians.
When we first moved to Northeast Ohio, my kids went to Breckville schools, and I got there and like, oh, Breckville, what's the mascot? The bees. So we sting you and then die? Is that... Oh, no, you put boxing gloves on a bee. Now they win.
We're fighting bees. Yeah. I think it's going to be one of my first questions to God when I get to heaven.
Did you just say the God?
To God.
Okay.
When I get to heaven.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be like, what's with the stingers? Was it necessary?
For real.
Was it totally necessary? Are we bothering bees that much that they have to sting us?
And see, bees, we like bees, they make honey, but wasps, what are they doing?
What is there?
What are they doing other than hurting people?
Like those killer wasps that we somehow got on a ship and came here, and, and they had no natural predator. And
do you have any other questions for God?
My son got stung by a wasp. And it's like,
That's it? Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Any questions? Yeah, the wasp.
What is going on with the wasp?
What were you doing there?
It's like an ant with wings, but it has a stinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they bite. Wasps bite, I think.
They do something horrible. My son got that. It was a miserable experience for him and for us, quite frankly.
Probably worse for you.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Charles says, shout out to the big homie, Dave. Has anybody ever called you a homie? Wow. You can go home and
They've
say,
called him Homely, but not homie.
what's up, Nathaniel?
Hey!
Lana?
You beat me to it. Or I beat you to it. What am I saying?
Nathaniel, Charles, Lana, Miss Viola.
Hey,
Good
Sarah.
morning.
Did you guys meet Sarah?
Yeah, we
From
did.
Ecuador?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
How do you say her name in Spanish?
Sara.
Sara.
But I was
Sara.
right. Her mother calls her Sarah. I asked her that.
Her
She said
mother's
yes.
American.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed about
You know
them?
what happened to poor Isaiah? He was in DR talking about, they'll be like, what's your name at stores? And he'll be like, Isaiah. And they're like, one woman was like, can you just like give me a normal name? And he had to start.
Did you say that in English or Spanish?
In Spanish. She got frustrated.
What?
Isaiah. And then he had to start like, wow, I'm going to have to start saying Isaias. Like his name.
Isaiah.
Can you give me a normal name? That's crazy.
Well, honestly, I remember when I was teaching, and then even when I was in college, students from Southeast Asia, the way that the names were formed in terms of the syllables, the sounds you make, was almost unpronounceable for the average white guy like me.
Yeah.
They'd have to come up with like, I'd see the name, I go, I'm sorry, I need your help. They go, just call me Pam.
Oh!
Yeah.
Like they came up with American names. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
What about
Just
A.A.
to make
Ron?
it.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the funniest sketches.
I know.
So is he going to come up with a Dominican name, or
He's
is he
going to have to
Isaiah?
do Isaias, which
Isaias.
is, if you go to the Bible, Isaiah is Isaias in Spanish. But he's never been, like, that was just weird to him, where he's like, wow, so I can't.
Why doesn't he say, call me Zay or something?
Yeah,
Zeke is his nickname, Zeke.
Just
But
make
they're not going
something
to do Zeke. They'll be like, huh?
Zeke?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it in Spanish? Zeke?
No, that's not even a thing. I mean, I guess. Zeke.
What?
I'm
Just
saying
Zeke?
Zeke.
If you're Zeke, you're not a thing
Oh,
in a
no,
Spanish-speaking
it's not
country. Get out.
Isn't that humbling, though, to an American, because he's an American? Give me your normal.
Well, it's not
give
just
me a
us that are
normal
going, excuse me,
name.
I can't say your name. I
For
need something
real,
else.
exactly. But you were gonna say something about Sarah in Ecuador.
Yeah, her family is so tall.
Yeah.
I mean, when I see, so her husband is from high mountain
Peru.
area.
Yeah.
My experience with people like off the grid in Brazil is they're like this tall. They're like tiny.
More like Janelle's height.
Yeah, and they have this massive big toe. I think they pound nails in with their big toe. But they walk in, I'm like, wow, you guys are like a basketball team practically. They're so tall.
Is she here?
What a lovely family, though.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, her oldest son's very tall.
Both of her kids were tall.
Well, right. Right, but her oldest son is especially tall.
Mm-hmm. The younger one hasn't grown yet. He's getting there.
My oldest son is like at least 6 feet. He's going to keep growing. I don't know where he gets it.
Let's not ask.
Supermom is here. She says hi to the whole gang.
Let's not ask. Just accept it.
How tall are your sons?
Jacob is about 6'2", and Josh is about right at 6 foot.
That's good. As long as you.
How
hit
tall are you?
6 feet.
5'1"?
I'm 5'4".
That's how tall Ivana's.
Oh yeah.
5'4", yeah. Usually
Great.
just set a glass of iced tea on her head.
Your sister's even smaller. She's like
Yeah,
4'10".
she's 5'1". 5'1". I told Elijah because Elijah's 6'4", and I'm like, yo, you gotta get a tall girl because when he tries to kiss me, he like bends like I'm his daughter. He goes, and I'm like, can you imagine if you dated a girl my height? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that Randy Newman song?
Short people got no reason. I worked with this guy. He's so funny. He was the drama teacher at the high school, and he was an English teacher, and he was little. He was like this tall. Every time he'd come in the classroom, I'd have it queued up. Boom! And I'd hit the song.
Brian.
He'd
That's
laugh.
harassment.
He'd give me a hard time, too.
I was eating in a restaurant.
Good morning,
once,
Reese.
and that song is playing. I'm like, I can't
So
believe they're
people
playing
got
this song in
no
this day and
reason.
age.
You don't know that song. I'll tell it to you later.
Yeah, I know.
We don't want to offend your sister if she's watching.
Whatever. She's good. Len laughs at her because she and Nia, my 7-year-old, wear the same shoes. I am not playing. She's
How does she stand up?
size 5.
Or doesn't she just kind of go, whoop, like just
Her
tip
feet
over?
are probably like this big.
Super little.
It's her. She wins though. She gets to buy kid sizes, so it's cheaper.
She does. She'll buy like UGG boots for like $50 because they're kid Uggs.
Baby shoes.
Yeah.
She wears his robies. Isn't that what they're called?
That's tight
crazy.
though. Yeah.
5'1".
What is that? Charles says if you need a boat. Okay, can you guys? Maybe you guys know.
If you need a boat, I know a guy. Waka waka waka. He's telling a bad joke is what he's doing. I love it. It's great.
The dad joke.
Waka
I
waka
guess.
waka is Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie Bear, yes.
Reese
Noah
says,
from the Bible built a boat.
He did?
If you
Why?
If you need a boat, I know a guy. Noah.
No.
So,
That was
Isaiah
good.
is in Dominican for the year.
He's gonna leave at the end of August or
And
beginning of September.
is he having second thoughts?
He's having cold feet, yes,
Uh-huh.
but he's excited.
Too late now. You rented an apartment.
Yeah, he rented his
And what's he
apartment.
going there for? What's he going to do there?
He's gonna take Spanish class at a local university.
Meet
gonna-
girls.
Doing
He's going to take Spanish class at the market.
at the market. He's gonna have a job. He's gonna do the swim team. But
wife hunting.
The goal is to
Find a
become
wife.
fluent in Spanish.
Okay.
Supposedly, he and his girlfriend have a promise, and so he
Oh, yeah,
won't find
sure
a
they
wife. They do. That's
Those are not legally binding. Last time I checked.
It's-
Nor have they stood the test of Dominican women.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Right?
It's it's a lovely place. It's a lovely place. I'll leave it at that.
why you say that? Like
It's a
how?
lovely place.
Whatever. You're trying to say something.
We went to when we went there this in 2020, we went to a resort, but then I went scuba diving and we had to drive 40 minutes to this little kind of like village, and it was lovely. It was really nice. I had not seen that side of the Dominican.
Yeah, it's nice.
It didn't look like every house had chickens in their living room
Yeah,
or anything
no.
like that. It almost looked
fun.
like an Italian village.
Yeah, it's
Kind of
nice.
close streets and
If you have money in DR, you live. I mean, it's like Americans living there and investing there.
yeah.
You
Well,
will
it's
live
like
large.
any like developing country, as in there's no
Exactly.
middle class. There's generally speaking.
But you don't have to be like a millionaire like
Right.
American to live well there. That's why when like
Right.
if people knew that, but what they see is either the resorts or it's
Yeah,
third
right,
world. It's
right.
like no, you could live there and be like very well.
Lots
first
of
time we
Americans
went there-
retire
Exactly.
in Latin
in
America.
countries like that, yeah.
Costa Rica was a big place for a long time, but it's
Yeah.
gotten expensive. But so we went to the Dominican, and we wanted to go into town, and the concierge said, "Well, where are you going?" So we're going into town. He goes, "No, you're not. You're not. You're definitely not going into town." I said,
yeah.
"Oh, we're." He goes, "Well, you got to take somebody. You can't just don't go into town." And I said, "Well, do you know someone?" He goes, "I have." Of course, he knew somebody, and so I thought we were getting scammed, but the guy actually kept my wife from getting robbed,
Oh wow.
and he hung with us
The whole
all
time.
day long.
Oh,
What
that's cool.
Was that expensive?
So we come back, and I tip the guy, and the concierge comes and goes, what did you give him?" And I told him, and he said, "You should have never gave him that much money.
Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of him now." Well, I didn't want to get rid of him because we're going into town the next day too.
Yeah.
And he had a car. But I didn't really give him I tipped him what I would have tipped anybody. He's like, "You shouldn't have given him that much
security.
money."
So two things. Number one, Isaiah's room comes with a maid. The woman that he's renting a room in a
It's
house.
the only way to
Isn't
live in a
that
foreign
so
country.
tight in college? So that's one thing. The other thing, there was a business guy. He was like 5 years old. Reminded me of you. He walked up to Isaiah and was selling fruit. And then the little boy was like, "Come on, I got one bag. You can buy 2 bags, 30 pesos." And then he goes, "And if you don't have change, give me 50." I was like, wow. I had to overpay him because I was like, wow.
I would tell the maid, "Don't ever touch that kid's room,
I know,
ever."
that's right.
That kid cleans his own room.
Yeah, that's what Len said.
Mm-hmm.
But it came with the option. Nancy wants to know, what is the advantage of HELOC over remortgage?
Refinance.
Well, a refi,
Okay.
when you refi, you're locked into a payment. And even so, if you cash out refi, so that means you take some cash out. I'd much rather, unless you got a high rate, if you got a high rate currently, you might want to do a refi and take cash out. But the HELOC is, you can pay it back when you want. You can use it when you want. If you don't use it, it just kind of sits there dormant.
Yeah.
And then if you need money, you could pull out. But what I tell people, especially on a home equity line of credit, is you don't use it for things that you amortize over long periods of time. So if you wanted to do a kitchen remodel and you're going to pay it off in 2 years, that's a good use of it. But a line of credit is not really for long-term purchases.
So now, how long do you have to be in a property asking for a friend to get a HELOC?
1 day.
Shut up.
It just has to have equity. You have to have equity.
So you have to have an appraisal.
Well, typically, yeah, they'll do. If you've never worked with the bank before on this property, they probably would do an appraisal. But if your friend recently bought the property, they probably could use that appraisal. So banks are a little sanctimonious when it comes to appraisals. They're like, well, we only use our appraisals. Like nobody else knows how to appraise a piece of property. Some banks will take somebody else's appraisal.
So now, I think I've heard you say before that you recommend everyone take out a line.
I think everybody should have a line of credit. Everybody should have a line
a
of credit.
HELOC.
Well, that's one way to do it. I have lines of credit through my business that are just there. And in 2008, if you didn't have access to credit, you were in trouble as a business owner. You needed a line of credit.
So how would Janelle get a line of credit?
She could do it through either your house or your business, your rentals. Take a line of credit against your rentals. There's got to be an asset, an underlying asset in general. Now, when I first started working with athletes, there was a bank, they were a regional bank, and we'd say, hey, we need a signature line of credit. Like, was it a football player? Like, yeah, okay, $50,000. The kid never made a dime in his life. But because he got drafted, they would just say, just have him sign this and he has access to $50,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Just like that. Well, those are gone. Can't do that anymore. Well, they don't do that anymore.
Bruce, lots of questions on YouTube. Bruce says, is a reverse mortgage a real thing, and is it a good thing?
Yeah,
It is a
Tom
real
Selleck really encourages people to get them now.
I think he's getting paid to say that.
I don't know about that.
Now, I have a contact, a Christian contact, who works in the reverse mortgage market, and I've sat down and talked to him, and he kind of schooled me up a little bit on it, about where it would be appropriate. So there are definitely times when a reverse mortgage is appropriate and reasonable, I think they're like most products, whether it's insurance, annuities, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, cars, they get oversold. And so they can get a bad reputation because of that. But there are certainly times when a reverse mortgage is appropriate, yes.
And then
You
Patrick.
didn't read Rob's comment.
Well, yeah. Rob says the girlfriend made him promise. Oh, let me talk to him. Refer to page 21 of How to Be a Player. Okay.
Page 21, he's got it memorized. He probably wrote it,
For
Rob.
real. Patrick says, Dave, any update on any potential student debt loan forgiveness you've mentioned?
Yes, I do have an update. Nancy Pelosi came out against it. And why would Nancy Pelosi come out against it? Because one of her biggest donors owns a student loan company. So I don't think that's getting
Politics in America.
put on the table right now. It may come back, and I don't, this $3.5 trillion boondoggle that they're going to force through the Senate through a process called reconciliation, where they can escape the filibuster on a spending bill. It may have something in there, but they're still kind of working out the nebulous details that we'll never know, and wish we hadn't known when we do know them. So more to come.
Anything else, people?
No, I'm rock solid.
Oh, okay, well, yeah. I don't know if
Of
Brian
course
can
I
say
am.
that.
Of course I am.
Charles is mad that I got the joke late. I have this thing, though, that happens. In fact, it really embarrasses Len. Like, there was one time, I'm always late to jokes, and one time at church, the pastor said a joke, and everybody laughed, and then you could hear my late laughter, and Len was just like, he wanted to disappear.
I told you about that first time I got together with her and Len.
No.
She had gotten the job, but it wasn't publicly announced yet. So Sarah and I quietly took out her and Len.
Where'd you take him?
Cheesecake Factory. She liked that. That's what she chose.
Okay.
Right? You chose that.
Yeah.
And so we're eating the meal. I'm meeting Len for the first time. And as part of the conversation, Len goes, listen, I got to tell you something. Seriously, I got to tell you something. So Janelle, not funny.
Yeah.
Janelle, not funny.
No, you are funny.
Aw.
That's what I think he was trying to, because, Kathleen is a different type of humor.
Yeah.
But every time she makes me laugh, I look at her and I go, Janelle, not funny. I mean, she makes me laugh every day. I think you're hilarious.
That's funny. But I do get jokes late, and that was a cool dad joke, Charles.
He even wrote Noah, the name.
I know.
Like Noah with a capital N.
See, oh, Charles so nice. He goes, you had the humor of my lovely wife. See? Great mind alike. We're busy on the serious stuff. So by the time we get to a joke, we'll be like, hold on, let me push aside the serious stuff. That's what it is.
Like, for example, what you were doing at Cedar Point the other day when you took your kids.
I was. Hey, you would have
What
said
is
do
it?
the same.
What is it like? Is it wide open? Is it?
She wouldn't know because she was taking a nap in her van.
First
where?
of all, my kids are grown.
Yeah.
And I was driving.
7,
Listen,
grown.
please, I got a 17-year-old that's there taking care of business. What I'm saying is I wake up at 4 a.m. and I take him to Cedar Point. I'm like driving off the road falling asleep.
Yeah.
And then I got to drive back. So I told them, if y'all don't want to get home dead, I got to take a quick
If
nap.
you had an autonomous driving vehicle, you would have to do nothing.
You could take a nap on a Tesla?
Sure, why not?
I wouldn't recommend
People do it all the time. You know where I like to nap at Cedar Point?
Where?
So right as you're walking in the gate, there's that picnic area over to the left.
Yeah.
And it's always a cool breeze kind of rolling through there. I love that.
It's still a little crowded.
I love a good nap
because
wherever
it's like
it is.
August, and we always go middle of the week, and it was still crowded. Very frustrating.
What about all the people who don't speak English? Are they working there?
I saw more because I
Okay.
know that in June it was a struggle.
Well,
yeah, I
the
did see
students
more.
have a hard time getting in during COVID. Usually it's exchange students, right?
Yeah,
People come
yeah,
for the
and
summer.
they have. That's pretty cool because I like how they have the countries and stuff. There's more of that now.
Did you talk to him real loud?
He's going. No, I do this thing where I'm like, "Oh, you're from Colombia," and then I start speaking Spanish, and then the kids are like, "Can we just get the fries and go?"
But did you ever tell
Yeah.
Dave about that when you were little and you had just come to the U.S. and you met a little girl on the train?
Yeah.
subway?
So, because I was just telling a friend, I don't remember not knowing English, but when I got here, I actually knew Spanish, didn't know English.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom tells me I was on a train, and I told the little girl, ¿Cómo tú te llamas? What's your name? And she's like, huh? And I go, ¿Cómo tú te llamas? And she says, huh? And I went to her ear, and I yelled it in her ear. And my mom had to explain, like,
It's not an American problem.
yeah, I sure did that.
When you guys came here, did you bring your chickens with you, or did you buy them when you got here?
Wow, we didn't have chickens. My mother's from the city.
Okay.
My
but they
dad's
still
from
have
the country.
chickens.
My
They still
dad
have chickens.
straight up had chickens, and they would eat the chicken from the street. I mean, from whatever their backyard. Sugar cane fields in their backyard.
Eating the chickens from your backyard doesn't bother me. It's just having chickens in your yard. Because chickens are really...
And they would walk in the house too.
I know.
being
I've
at
been
my
to the Dominican.
grandparents'.
I've seen this.
I have chickens in my yard.
I'm sure you do now that you live where you live.
Yeah, in fact, our suburban chickens are having a hard time adjusting to farm life.
Why?
They don't, like the farm chickens that we inherited from the previous owner, like, there's a fenced off area, but it's not a big fence, just like some chicken wire. They stay in there. They're like, this is where I belong.
Wow.
Your city chickens.
Our city chickens don't do that. They're like,
Like, you're
what
not
are
going to
they
tell me
gonna
what to
here?
do.
You know, they walk all
Charles
over the place.
Is
It's a problem.
surprised that I paid all that money to nap in my car. We have season tickets.
Thank you, Charles. That's exactly. She
Our
probably sleeps
season-
at movies too.
I do. I do.
Do you know how mad I would get if I paid for your ticket?
I do. You
Let's go
should
watch
have
the movie, it'd
seen
be
me
great. Is
when
that
we
great?
went to go see what's that thing? Tom Hanks and he's in an island.
Oh, yeah. That was the most boring movie.
I
in the-
lifted the divider and I went to sleep. And Len's like, Jannelle. I'm like, I'm sleepy, so I just want to sleep.
I mean, you were probably 90% of the theater was sleeping in that movie. That was the
That's
worst
a good movie,
yeah.
though. If you could keep up.
No.
No?
One time though, I took my kids to the SpongeBob movie when that was out. I was a good nap. Oh man, the kids loved it, but I was just
Charles says your city chickens be hopping the fence.
yeah. I have to build an addition on the coop, and we have to like fence them in better so they stop
Do
getting out.
you ever wear overalls?
Not yet.
You need to now.
Is it part of the homeless drifter collection? Do you think you could get that in there?
No, but see, I have a problem, and it's like I was talking.
Well,
to
you
my
got
neighbor.
a problem. He's got
Well,
Yeah,
how
you
much
do.
time you
that
got?
done.
I got a new problem.
Something we don't know.
I got a new problem.
Okay.
The neighbor Steve he looked at my mower. He's like, no, that is just not going to work. I've got a John Deere like riding lawnmower, kind of entry level riding lawn tractor.
Stamped deck, worst ever.
Well, and he's like, that's just not going to work. He said I had one of those, and it would take me all day to mow.
Yeah.
He said you'd go in feeling like you had just gone over, you know.
Exactly
He
right.
said I bought myself a zero turn that had the right kind of shocks on the seat.
Yes.
And he said he did it in 3 hours.
Well, that's still a long time to cut
As
grass.
opposed to all
Wow.
day.
I have a Pro Z100 Cup Cadet 60-inch fabricated deck, not stamped.
Is it a zero turn?
Oh, yeah.
So are you happy with it? 60 is a
Love
big deck.
I love it. Love it.
Is that 3 blades?
3 blades. Yeah.
Time for you to upgrade.
That was my upgrade.
Where's your old one?
Oh, I sold it. I mean, those things, those ZTRs, they're kind of like used cars. They don't lose a lot of value if you take care of them. And really, all you got to do is change the oil, and you get new blades. They don't sharpen blades anymore, really. You just buy new blades for them, and they're super easy to change.
It's just loosen a bolt, basically, right?
But that bolt gets baked on there. I mean, it is. Even me, Brian,
Hi,
and I know it's
Charles.
hard to believe, even I'm struggling to break that bolt off of there. Wow. You would have to call me. No way you're getting that bolt off.
You want to let me give that just drop it off for the rest of the season?
That's a good idea.
I'll give it a spin. We
I
could
thought
trade.
I thought you were buying a tractor.
I went to the dealer to look at a tractor.
Can't get one?
Number one, they're hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, expensive. Whoa!
What are we talking, 15?
Oh, no. You're pushing 30 for one that's got the right
What?
attachments.
Yeah, so I'll put
I'm
you
not
in
kidding.
touch- I'll put you in touch with somebody for a ZTR.
The Cub Cadet?
Yeah, I like them. It's not this is like the entry-level professional Cub Cadet. See you, Jeff.
Bye.
She's gone, I guess. We're having a nice conversation here, all of us, and
About
she's just leaving.
lawnmowers. Yeah, the Pro Z is the entry level kind of big commercial mower.
Because I got a lot of property to mow.
You definitely so.
We should let you go and continue this.
No, people might want to chime in. But like if you
okay.
could get a rider with the 60-inch deck, which I don't think you can get.
Well, I don't know. You can't, and I don't. It's hard to find a 60-inch deck on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But like, if I wanted to get the BX, what is it? You look at this. Sarah goes, "Sorry, your wife said no." We sat there together. It was an obvious no because to get it, it would come with. We would have gotten the plow attachment. It's got the front scoop, so you're working the property, and you'd get the mowing deck, and it was about 30.
So what I would do is I would get the ZTR and a 4-wheeler.
That's kind of what we've talked about
Yeah.
doing because we're going to probably plow with a 4-wheeler and
How
such.
long is
but
your driveway?
It's very long. I haven't measured it, but
What, 500 feet?
ask Sarah. I'm not good at estimating distances.
It's like when
I'm not shoveling it.
a
How about
female
that?
says, "How old do you think I am?" I have no idea. I don't know. You're 4.
Oh, she agrees with you. But see, I don't know that she's officially agreed to the zero turn yet. I've tried to warm her up to the idea that I need to get a zero turn.
You need
Oh, they're
it.
nice.
No,
Yes, you
honestly, there's
Yeah.
no way other to
Do
cut
it.
lawn than with the 0 turn.
Well, beyond the fact that I think I need the right kind of shocks on the seat.
Well, that
Because
as
I'm
you-
sitting here on this John Deere like doing this.
As you get up in the mower class, like if you go to Home Depot and you buy an entry level Cub Cadet, you're going to get an entry level Cub Cadet with a stamped deck, and it's going to rust out. And once your deck rusts out, you got to buy a new deck, and so you might as well just avoid that discussion entirely and get a good version of it, and go to a dealer who can, and you can, but
You can
that's what I-
finance it too at
Oh,
a dealer. Yeah.
if you want to. I mean, depending on what their rates are.
I'm trying to get electricity, Dave. I think my priority in my finances and my equity is going to go to
How are you
electricity.
charging your electric toothbrush right now?
I'm just not brushing my teeth. It's easier that way. And Sarah's right. She needs a new car before we have a $30,000 tractor.
Do you guys have to start chewing tobacco out there? Do they chew tobacco? Did the kids chew tobacco yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I mean, that phase 2 of the move-in.
Right.
Everybody's getting a can of Skoal.
Yeah.
And guns. Have you bought guns yet?
We own a shotgun that's just been at my father-in-law's house for years because we've lived in cities where it's complicated to have those. He's going to bring it to us, but we want to get a 22 rifle just for like raccoons and such.
I'd go 308 myself, but
She's the sharpshooter. I'm just the husband that mows the lawn.
yeah, that's right.
She's trained in firearms. I'm not. I mean, it's
Sarah,
it's an
you
obvious.
need to buy him a pair of overalls that he could wear with no shirt on that would fit into the homeless drifter collection. So
I don't know how the Amish would feel about me in my overalls with no
they
shirt.
love when you wear overalls.
With no shirt.
Oh yeah,
It's their favorite.
it is.
Yeah, you've heard that? Yeah. Me too.
Whenever you talk to them. So when Josh was a kid, we were in Amish country, and we go to a shoe store, and it's hot. I mean, it's like going to be like, today was like that. And there's 4 Amish women there, and they're working in the fields and everything, and coming to town. And Josh always had like a super sensitive sense of smell. And he's standing next to me, and goes, "Dad, something stinks." I said, "Josh, easy. I'm buying a pair of shoes." "No, Dad, you don't understand. Something really smells bad." I'm like, "Josh, will you please just wait?" "Dad, I gotta get out of here." I'm like, "Forget it. I can't buy these shoes." I'm like, "Forget it."
Did they know that?
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, and it was embarrassing, but they Amish people live a different style of life.
Yeah.
It's
Well.
different.
So it seems to me the consensus on all of Facebook, which is really the internet, and in this room is that I need a zero-turn mower.
ZTR 4-wheeler with a plow and a winch. You need a winch on because you're going to be dragging trees around and stuff. I drag trees off the beach at my house with my 4-wheeler with the winch all the time. It really is a handy tool. So you get a plow that's adjustable. Okay, so you have to get off the 4-wheeler to adjust the plow, like to turn it to the right or to the left. And yeah, that's the only way. It'll be the cheapest way
To get it.
to manage the property.
Yeah. She also was reminding me. You said your son smelled the smell. My oldest son Marshall would have this habit of whenever we were traveling. We in Minnesota a lot from Illinois. Stop at rest stops. He'd have to go in and evaluate the smell of the bathroom. And so he'd go in, oh, Dad, it stinks in here. Like, what's that minty smell, Dad, down there? But my favorite one is we went into one that was packed with guys. He goes, hey, Dad, this smells pretty great in here.
My oldest one time we were at a racetrack, and we walk into a washroom, and Jake says, hey, Dad, look how fat that guy is. But he's standing right next to us. I'm like, oh yeah, I see that. Come on, let's go. We're going home. We've been here for 5 minutes. We gotta leave already.
Oh gosh. And you know, it comes full circle because my mom, when my grandmother was still living, my mom and dad took her out to a buffet.
Yeah.
And she was in her 90s at that point.
Oh.
And she was just sitting there looking around, not eating. My mom's like, Mom, what are you doing? She goes, real loud, because she's like 90. Looking at all the fat people.
I have this personal aversion to the buffet. I cannot, and COVID has really saved me because I think most buffet restaurants are probably going to be.
I'll go to a Chinese buffet any day. That's my buffet.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Coconut shrimp, baby.
Ooh,
Oh, Brian.
that's good stuff.
Sarah, I'm so sorry that you have to, now, but when breakfast buffet, like you go to a hotel, one of the things that they do really well, they have perfected it, was breakfast. They have meats and fruit cut up. I mean, they cut up their fruit like in you know how you would do it if you wanted to take the time to cut up the fruit? They do that. And so it's great eating breakfast there, and they cook their bacon, American bacon, crispy. I can do that, but for some reason, the Chinese buffet,
I'm all about it.
no. Oh.
I'm like Kramer and Seinfeld. Give me extra MSG.
Yes. Ooh,
Yeah.
good stuff.
I have an aversion to it. I just can't. And Levon, it drives Levon crazy because he's like, oh, we go to a buffet, but Dave's with us. We do that, but Dave's with us.
Well,
Well, I am your husband. I'm with you a lot.
give me a call. I'll go.
29 years, the duct tape. I should probably get a card.
Yeah.
Something. Okay, I will. I'm going to get a card.
Just get one. It doesn't matter what it says. Cross off mom or whatever and put wife. You know, it won't matter. All right, we're gonna actually go now. It's been a while. It's been a fun time though.
Yeah.
Have a great day.